Alright, what is up everybody? It is your boy Jar here with week 6, I believe, of the GPC. We picked up a win last week. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background, they're just chilling. But this week we're going up against a tough opponent, Will McCarty. Very good player, and his team has a lot of threats, such as Megalopunny, Landorus Incarnate, that he has Latios, Florges, and Florges is a big problem for my team because a lot of my attacking mons are special, such as Sceptile, X-Cloud, Greninja, and so that thing is going to be a problem for me to deal with. I could have brought Honchkrow. You see the team opposite. I could have brought Honchkrow, but Honchkrow just gets worn down a little too easily, and although he may not have a Brave Bird switch in, he has a lot of things that outspeed an Oko Honchkrow, so I didn't feel like that would be the best mon to bring this week. But yeah, so I want to get into the team a little bit. Let's run over to the GPC spreadsheet. You see my team, obviously. If you don't know our team by now, piss off. And then here's Will's team, the Bouffalant Bills. He's got rockin' Landorus Incarnate, Rotom Wash, Latios, Fortress, Florges, Megalopunny, Dragalge, Electivire, and Abra. So he's got a lot of threats. I'm predicting Landorus, Rotom, Latios, Fortress, Florges, and Megalopunny. I don't expect him to bring anything different than his top 6 because they all have a pretty good matchup versus me. Sorry, I had to make a quick cut there. But yeah, so that's our team. I think our matchup this week isn't bad. Like I said, the only things that I could see really being a problem are Landorus, obviously. Megalopunny, I think, could be an issue. He picked it up, so we have to face Megalopunny twice this season. Latios is a huge issue for my team, and Florges, like I said, is a huge issue. So let's look at the team we're bringing for this week. As you can see, Mega Sceptile's making another return debut. He's rocking the Leaf Storm, Iron Tail, HP Fire, and Dragon Pulse. He puts in a lot of work this week. If I can get rocks up and have a little bit of prior damage on Florges, then I can kill it with the combination of Leaf Storm and Iron Tail. I just need to hit my Iron Tail. So we'll see if I can do that. That's always a struggle. But, you know, I have confidence in Sceptile. I think it's got a pretty good matchup this week. It's mainly here for a Rotom switch in. If he packs HP Ice, he packs HP Ice. There's nothing I can do about it. But if he doesn't pack the HP Ice, we're going to be able to lay some smackdown on his team with Mega Sceptile, which is awesome. I really want this thing to put in work. Next, let's get into this. We're bringing Zapdos with U-Turn, Defog, T-Bolt, Roost. Spread's a little wonky. Here's my thoughts behind the spread. I could rock HP Ice for Landorus, but I really don't see Landorus switching in on Zapdos because he can think I have the HP Ice. And worst comes to worst, if he does, I can U-Turn out. Oh, by the way, Sceptile is speed creeping a Latios before Mega Evolving and at Megalopunny. But I have the Roost because I need recovery. Defog because he has Fortress. He could potentially try and Hazard Stack me, which would not be fun. T-Bolt just for general coverage. It's pretty standard Zapdos this week, defensive with a lot of special attack investment to just hit really hard with those T-Bolts. Next up, we're bringing Ape, Choice Bandit again. He doesn't have a switch into this thing. I'm expecting, like I said, a more Spadef Florges because X-Cloud and Sceptile are... he doesn't have a switch in outside of Florges, so I think this Florges has to be very Spadef this week for him to be able to switch into those two monsters. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for. We're rocking Earthquake for Dragalge, Fire Punch for Florges, and Close Combat for literally everything else. He doesn't have a switch into Close Combat, especially Bandit, that's not Florges, so if I can get rid of Florges, I can basically get a kill every time Ape comes in. Rocking the U-Turn just to maintain momentum, hit off that Florges if I need to. Speed, obviously... I don't know if you can see it, but it's you can see it up here. Basically what that speed does is it's 332, it's speed creeping a Landorus Incarnate. X-Cloud, Choice Spec, Soundproof, Fire Blast for the, what's it called? There's a steel type he has. Anyway, I fucking forgot, one sec. Fortress, that's what it was. So Fire Blast for Fortress, Boom Burst, Toxic, and Ice Beam just to throw another move on there. I don't know. Toxic could be nice for Florges if I need to. But that's basically the X-Cloud set we're rocking this week. Then I needed to bring some switch-ins. Zapdos was my main Megalopunny answer, but I needed a switch into Landorus, and here's what I came up with. Now, when I built this spread, I fully anticipated him to bring a Gravity Landorus, so I wasn't sure that I pretty much knew Bronzong couldn't be my only switch into Landorus. I have seen Gravity Landorus, I've ran Gravity Landorus Incarnate, and if I try and bring Bronzong, he is going to Oko me. So what I did with the Bronzong was I built it to take hits from other mons on his team. This thing can take some hits from Dragalge, it can take some hits from Megalopunny, and it can hit a Gyro Ball back. It's also my rocker for the week, also packing Toxic Earthquake, because I think Dragalge is going to be he's going to try and switch in Dragalge on me, thinking I can't do anything, because my Gyro Balls do literally 0 to that thing. But, spread, I just want to go max defense. I don't need Spadef, because the Landorus is only going to hit me with knockoff, unless it's running Gravity. And in case it's running Gravity, I'm sorry, let me turn Skype off. And in case it's running Gravity, we can use this next mon, which is Alomomola. I'm bringing a max Spadef, max HP Alomomola. This thing will not be 2-hit KO'd by a Landorus's Earth Power. He can't bring Modest because Zapdos is there, so I should be able to pivot around his Landorus, Wish, Protect, Knockoff, Waterfall. Knockoff is to hit Latios. I think he could try and bring a Combine Latios to try and capitalize on my Alomomola, but we can't let that fly, so we have to bring Knockoff this week. Waterfall, because Scald, he's going to bring Sub on a lot of things I'm expecting, so Scald's not going to do much. Waterfall actually has a chance to break some subs, and Wish Protect. So that's the team, pretty balanced. Let's hop right into the game, and we'll see what we can do versus Will. And here we are with the battle portion of the video. So Will brought basically everything I expected: the Landorus, the Fortress, the Mega Lopunny, the Dragalge instead of Rotom, Florges, and Latios. So he brought basically everything I was expecting, no real shockers. If I had to pick a lead to start, I was going to lead with Sceptile if I saw Rotom, but now I'm probably going to lead with Zapdos, just because if he leads with Mega Lopunny, nothing else really wants to handle that thing right away. I can U-turn out, I'm faster than a lot of his team. And if he wants to lead with Fortress, I'll fire off a T-Bolt, make sure I defog his hazards away. I just thought Zapdos was overall my best lead. So let's hop right into it, no reason to waste any more time. So, I'm going to switch sides, sorry. So he leads with Dragalge, as I lead with my Zapdos, as I said. Now I'm faster than this thing, I can U-turn out. We'll see if how Will wants to play it today. I'm gonna go for the U-turn, not do a lot. It's resisted hit, obviously, and I'm gonna go into my Bronzong as he straight up goes for a Shadow Ball, predicting me turn 1. It does 42%, which is a good amount, but I'm not that worried. He goes for a Dragon Pulse, predicting me to switch out, but I'm just gonna get my rocks up. I knew I could take any hit from this thing still, and now I'm gonna switch out into my Spadef Alomomola, as he's gonna go for a Shadow Ball. I tank those. That does absolutely nothing, actually. It's kind of funny how bulky Alomomola can be. So here, I'm just going to toss up a Wish, and he brings Florges in, which is perfect, because I can get my Bronzong back to max HP, basically, already, and all that happened was I got rocks up, and I got a little bit of damage on the Dragalge. He throws up a Wish of his own. Now here, I didn't want Latios or Lopunny coming in for free, so I wanted to throw off a Toxic here, just because those two are much bigger threats to me than Dragalge is, because obviously we've seen Alomomola just straight up walls the shit out of that thing. And so he goes for Dragon Pulse, predicting to switch out into Alomomola. I don't make it. I just fire off an Earthquake. That's why we packed Earthquake. I do 47%. That's a good amount. And so now I make the switch into Aloe as he goes for a Shadow Ball, and we tank those relatively easily, so that's always good. Here I probably should have doubled, but I'm going to go for a knockoff just to get rid of Florges' leftovers and or Dragalge's item, but he actually goes into his Latios, and I get a lot of damage off on that thing. Here, I have no reason not to stay in. I built Alomomola to take care of a Latios, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go for a knockoff. And he's Ghost Combine, basically what I expected. Nothing surprising there. He goes for a Dragon Pulse. That does nothing. That's a Specs Latios. That does absolutely 0. We were able to hit that thing with the third knockoff and knock it out. So we have an early 6-5 lead, and all of our mons are basically at full health. Here's where the game takes an interesting turn, though. He goes into his Mega Lopunny as I protect, don't want to take Fake Out, and I can get Regenerator. He subs up. And so I run some calcs, and there is a chance I break his sub with a Waterfall, but then he reveals Cosmic Power. And this thing I can already tell is going to be a problem. I'm just like, okay, shit. I only have one thing that outspeeds it. So here I'm thinking, okay, he might have Return as his only attacking move, because I'm predicting Sub, Cosmic Power, Baton Pass, and one attacking move. So I'm thinking it's Return. I go into X-Plot, and it's Drain Punch. So that really sucks that it was Drain Punch. I was expecting Return, which I could have taken, but either way, Zapdos is my best play now. I just want to break that sub. He goes for a Baton Pass, so basically the set I expected, I just got the wrong attacking move. As I go for a T-Bolt, Landorus comes in, and now I'm dealing with a Landorus that he's Gravity, so he's at +2/+2 defenses, and he's got Gravity on, which I predicted him to bring, and now I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? So I have to resort to the only way that I know how to deal with this Landorus, which is going to end up being stalling it out with a Lomomola. As you can see, he's not doing very much with his Earth Powers. I think he got 2 low rolls there based on the rolls we'll see in the future, but I still could have taken 2 hits, I believe, so he's going to go for an Earth Powers I Protect, and I'm just going to keep catching wishes. Now, I'm going to skip. This goes on for a little while. As you can see, he's Earth Powering, I'm Wish Protecting. He sets up a Rock Polish, so now I can't beat it with Sceptile afterwards if I need to. So I have to stop this thing here and now. I can't let it get by a Lomomola. So he's going to continue to Earth Power. The same thing is going to happen. I'm trying to stall him out of Earth Powers, and at this point he's going to start firing off Rock Slides to preserve some of his Earth Powers. And I have to just keep going with the Lomomola. I have to beat this Landorus 1v1. Fire up a Waterfall when I can, but not before I can. So same thing's going to happen. He's going to Earth Power. I'm going to Waterfall. I'm going to Protect up. He's going to Earth Power, you know. The same basic things happening over and over again. And here, I'm at 55. And if you hadn't noticed, he was starting to do like 57 and 58 with his Earth Powers. And I didn't want to risk it. And this was his last Earth Power. This Landorus had 1 Earth Power left. And he could have potentially killed my Lomomola. So what I did was I pulled a switch into my Zapdos on his last Earth Power in order to take that hit without taking any damage. And now my Lomomola just straight walls this thing. He can do nothing to my Lomomola. And so I'm going to go back into it now. On the Rock Slide, no big deal. We tank those, and now I think I've defeated this Landorus at least. But the Lopunny is still an issue. I've dealt with Landorus, so I'm going to fire up a Waterfall. He takes that relatively well. I'm surprised the Lomomola was doing that much damage, honestly. But here he's going to switch out into his Fortress, which I'm just going to fire up a Wish. I have enough Regenerator to be back at like 88% if I switch out here, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pass this right to my boy Ape, as he gets up a Toxic Spike, which could be problematic. I really don't want my Lomomola getting toxic. I go for a Banded Fire Punch, and this thing eats an Occa Berry and lives it, and he gets Rocks Up, which really sucks. So I've got to get rid of these hazards, because now they're hurting me more than they're helping me, because he has nothing weak to hazards, and although I may need it to kill Florges, I still have my Bronzong in good health. So what I'm going to do here is go into my Bronzong, and here's where Will makes a good play. He goes for Dragon Pulse, and I don't have a switch into this thing. I have to let Bronzong basically go down to kill Dragalge. And that really sucks because I need rocks. He goes into Landorus and I'm just forced. I thought about this for a while, but I'm just forced to let it go down to a Rock Slide as his Landorus. I'll bring in Mega Sceptile afterwards and I'll pick it off with a Dragon Pulse because I do not want to risk a miss and have my Sceptile down basically dead. So I'm just going to Dragon Pulse. I didn't think he'd bring Florges in right away. And we're sitting at 4-2. It's looking good for us. We still have Ape to break Florges if we need to. The only issue is that this Florges is still here, and it's still a problem. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch out into Zapdos, because I know I can take a Moonblast. I know I can get rid of these hazards. I know I can basically beat this thing 1v1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fire off a few Roosts, as he is going to keep Moonblasting me. He has no reason to do anything else. But now the problem is I don't have Rocks Up, and this thing has leftovers, and it's just gaining more than a lot of my Mons can do back to it, which is really frustrating. That's why I kind of wish that Lomomola's knockoff had hit Florges instead of Latios earlier, because this thing could legitimately stall my team out at this point, which would be really frustrating and problematic. So I basically have to sit here with Zapdos. I'm going to Roost up. I'm going to get to 60%, and I'm going to think, okay, so I'm going to go into a Lomomola because I want to bait him. I want to bait him to go into Lopunny because this thing is being a pain in the ass to me. So I'm going to bait him to go into Lopunny, and the way I'm going to do that is go into a Lomomola, give him the Setup Fodder, and I'm going to make a double back into my Mega Sceptile, and here's where it comes into play that the rocks aren't up. I'm going to go for a Leaf Storm, obviously, it's my best play, as Florges is going to come in. I get a good roll, I get 51% with my Leaf Storm, and there is a small chance for Iron Tail to kill. Well, not after leftovers, but I just need to keep this thing low. I go for an Iron Tail and I miss, so this thing's basically going to get back to full for free instead of being at, like, lower health because I missed the second Iron Tail as well, so he's going to get back to full, which really sucks because what I could have done here is, what I'm going to have to do here is I have to go into Ape. I only have Fire Punch, I don't have Flare Blitz because I knew I needed to keep Ape's health intact. I'm going to go for a Fire Punch, and I didn't know Florges could even take hits this well because I get a crit luckily, I get to 80%, he goes for a Wish, and he's just going to be able to protect and catch the Wish, so the crit doesn't really matter because he's out of range again of being killed by it, so the crit didn't really matter. I have to keep spamming Fire Punch here, and we're in the same situation we were in earlier with the Alomomola and the Landorus. He can take my hits, he can Wish Protect, so this goes on for a little while. I'm trying to fish for a burn or whatever. I don't get it. Here I get super close. If I had gotten a high roll here, if I'd gotten a, I think, just mid-high roll, I could have killed Florges, but I don't get the mid-high roll. I don't think it mattered in the end, and I'll explain why. Here I have to bait again. I have to go out into Alomomola as he Moonblasts. But this time, Ape is too low to live a Drain Punch from Mega Lopunny, and I know that, so I basically have to just stay in and get what damage I can. I tried to knock off this thing's leftovers, because then Ape could 2-hit KO it, but unfortunately, Will is smart. He goes into his Lopunny, and he's going to Cosmic Power Up, and this is the beginning of the end for us, because I go into Ape, and he kills me, and I have no offense left at this point. All of my big hitters are down. I have Zapdos and I have Alomomola, and the two of them together actually could stall out a large number of turns. The two of them actually could have probably, if we were on Wi-Fi, I said I probably could have stalled him out, which is probably true. Because my mons have much higher HP, because this thing's only attacking move is Drain Punch. Zapdos is defensive, it takes literally nothing from that. Alomomola has Regenerator, I don't need to use any moves to keep its health up. So basically, what ends up happening is I just say, alright, he can stall me out with this Lopunny. There is no reason for the battle to go another, because it could have gone for like another 100 turns pretty easily. So I award Will the win. He earned it. This Lopunny said he didn't want it to end this way. He said it's kind of frustrating that it did, but you know, he brought a set I couldn't beat, and that's my own fault. That was bad prep. I really didn't expect this Lopunny, because an offensive one could have put in work if he'd worn some of my walls down, and he definitely has the means to do so. With the combination of Landorus and Dragalge and Latios, as we saw, he had the capabilities to break a lot of my walls. So it's a loss, but you know, he earned it. So that's it. Later. That's all.